What's up, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, share, all of that beautiful stuff. Now, guys, I want to share a story with you. It's something that happened earlier today, and I thought I would share this because it just reminded me of one important thing that a lot of people are forgetting. And that is that all of us on this gigantic rock, we're here together and we're all people, regardless of what we have done in the past, our color of our skin, our race, our anything. We're all in this together, and people are still people. And it's important that we remember that people are still people. Okay, now I had a situation this morning where there was this lady, and she appeared to have this really bad back pain or something going on. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend like I know exactly what was going on with her. But I do know that she appeared to be suffering a lot of serious back pain, etc., etc. Now, against the advice of her doctors and against the advice of the nurses and the security personnel and everyone else, they told her to stay in the hospital. She had a bed in the hospital, and she should have stayed there. She was like crawling down the ground, like she was not in good shape. When I say crawling, I'm talking about literally on all fours, crawling down, crawling to get around. She could not walk straight at that particular time. So anyways, I decided to, which was really weird, you know, because like she couldn't, there was no Uber wanted to take her, no taxi wanted to take her, no one wanted to help this lady. And I gotta admit, I couldn't tell if was she about to throw up, you know, because she might have been sick, which she said she had some drinks earlier, but she, you know, she wasn't over the limit or something like that. And she was crawling on all fours. So, you know, it just looked like a situation where it's like, is this, you know, it felt a bit weird and risky because I've never in my entire life, like, kind of, you know, dealt with that type of situation. I didn't know if she was okay or not, you know what I mean? And you see someone who is going through pain and going through that kind of stuff, and you really don't want to, you know, in one breath, you don't want to do you want to encourage them to go and do the right thing to get the care that they need so they can properly get better. You don't want them doing risky, crazy things that can make things worse. But because of her situation and what she was going through, no one wanted to give this lady a ride home. So I had this moral dilemma myself, because I was like, you know, she might be sick. She might be, you know, is she gonna throw up in my car? Is she, you know, am I gonna be able to help? Like, what if she has a heart attack in the car because of her back? Like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know her situation. But the lady had discharged herself from the hospital. Now, this is the big point. She discharged herself out of the hospital, means she took her own, you know, it's her life, and she decided to take it in her own hands, and her right to discharge herself out against medical advice. She did it. And she was so determined to get home, in fact, that when everyone had decided they weren't going to take her, she just decided she was going to walk home. Well, crawl. She was crawling at first, and then she managed to, I guess she just decided, screw it, and fought the pain or whatever. I'm assuming she probably had some pain meds or something as well that the hospital had given her, and they probably kicked in a bit. But she ended up eventually getting back, standing up, and trying to force herself to walk home. Now, there was 2 security people on the grounds there, and they told me, they said, once she leaves the grounds there at the hospital, that's it. Their job is done, and whatever she does, they do. They just there to make sure she doesn't hurt herself while she's on the grounds. But other than that, that's it. So it was really interesting because it was like it was like everyone felt so like, it was interesting to see, you know. I kind of had mixed feelings because like it felt like in one hand it's hard to feel sorry for someone who's doing something that you know is not in their best interest, you know, in their higher good. You can see them, you know, in pain, and they're trying to push themselves to be, you know, and some people are stubborn like that. Some people, for whatever reason, don't like hospitals or don't want to be in a hospital, etc., etc. Or maybe, you know, you don't know their whole story. Maybe they've been dealing with this for a very long time, and because they've been doing it for a long time, they know already that the doctors really can't do anything, so they might as well go home. So you never know anyone's story. You never know why they feel the way they do or make the decisions they want to do. But at the end of the day, they're still human. And this is where suddenly I had clarity. I had this moment of beautiful clarity, and I went, wait a minute. I was like, this is a human. And whether her decision is right or wrong, maybe even though it's, you know, it could be the worst decision in the world, at the end of the day, me being another human who I care about people, and I was watching literally this lady just kept pushing herself to get home. She was walking home in pain down the road. I saw her just keep going until finally she hit the end of the street and she was off hospital grounds. And so she hooked a left and she was gone. So I was like, man, this lady really wants to, regardless of what the right thing for her to do, because I was like, yo, like, you should listen to these people. Like, you should get some help, you know, and stay in the hospital. They had a bed for her and everything. It wasn't like they didn't have the room for her. She was already booked in to stay there and everything, and they were going to look after her, but she wanted to go. So anyways, I could not, even though I was like, this is crazy, this is madness, and I don't know the situation, I don't know if she's, you know, what the actual story of everything is. All I know is that she's a human. That's all I knew, is that she was a human, and this human was so determined to get home. You know, as far as we know, she could have had a baby at home, a kid or someone that needed her. You just don't know. She had to get home, and she was determined to do it. And so I decided to give her a ride home. And I was right in that moment, I was like, well, this is either a really good idea or a bad idea, but either way, I have decided to help a human, another human out. And so that's what I did. And I gave her a ride home, and she was so thankful and in gratitude because I helped her. And she said, thank you so much for helping me. And you know, those words by themselves are really powerful words that really truly make you feel like, wow, you know, you've done something to brighten someone's day. And again, not knowing her full story, maybe that's the one thing that will spark true change in her life, because, you know, against the odds, when everyone else decided to give up on her, even though she was doing things against, and not saying, and by the way, the hospital wanted to help her. So the hospital wanted to help her. The security would have gladly helped her back to the hospital, you know, like to her bedroom, and everyone was there to help her, but they wanted to help her the way that they saw fit or thought was what she needed, whereas she obviously felt she needed something else. And whether that's right or wrong, it's it's not to us to say. It's definitely not to me to say. I'm not a doctor, you know, but she felt she needed to get home, and I felt really happy to know that at the end of the day I decided to help her and she got home. And at least I knew she got home safely, because her trying to walk and crawl and do all these things with her, you know, the pain and the shape that she was in, it could have ended badly for her. You know, she could have freaking ended up getting hit by a car or something like that, you know. So I want to share the story with you guys, mainly because I just wanted you guys to remember in your day-to-day travels, how many times have you seen someone who is on the side of the street somewhere, who is, who needs a helping hand, who might not be making the right choice at the time, but they may need they may need just someone to show them a little bit of love and say, you know what, this is this. And look, I took the opportunity to ask her to make me a promise. I said, I'll give you a ride, but make me a promise that you will, if you feel that it's too much pain, that you promise me you will call an ambulance and you will go back to the hospital. Please don't try to force yourself to be in a situation, you know. And she said she promised, and you know, she was, I think we made a real positive connection, and I felt really good about that. And it just reminded me, you know, the whole thing is just reminded me on our day-to-days, like how many times have we seen people that need just someone to put aside their own personal thoughts about that person, what they're doing or not doing, whether it's right or wrong, or they should be doing, you know what I mean? Like in terms of, for example, people look at people who are busing on the street, you know, trying to make money, or dancing, you know, with a cup or something, you know, all these different things that we see people doing on a day-to-day, sleeping on a corner somewhere. And a lot of these people have options. A lot of these people, you know, we tend to automatically assume that our thought process on what should be their option is what they should do, and we tend to dismiss, but what is it that they feel they need at that particular moment, as long as it's not something illegal, like, you know, they feel they need a hit or some drug or something. Like, obviously I'm not condoning that, like, don't help them with that effort. But if what they feel is something that obviously is going to bring them an amount of comfort, or is going to help them get through their day better, or, you know, whatever, like, take a moment to put yourself in someone else's shoes and to see what is it that they feel they need, not what is it that you feel they need, because what you may think they need may not be what they actually need at all. Every single person on this planet is not the same. Everyone has different needs. Everyone has different thought process. Everyone has different priorities. So I just want to remind you, I'm going to cut this video off because I will just keep talking and talking and talking. I shared the story. I think you got the point of what I'm trying to say. But I just want to leave it with you guys right now and just say, just remember, okay, that we are all people on this planet. And remember to be loving and show people compassion, and to remember that people are people. And that's something that I think we all forget. People are people. And if we all start showing a little bit more compassion and understanding and forgiveness and love and all these beautiful things, if we all started doing that, just maybe we can change this whole just situation that's going on our planet today. We can get a chain reaction happening where love is just light firing everything like wild bushfires, and changing the way that we look at the world, changing perspectives, changing people's perception on life and people in general. Maybe, just maybe, we all can start becoming more of a one people, because that's what we need to do. Like, it's 2020 almost, in 2 months roughly. It's time that we all start coming together, guys. So anyways, I wanted to share that story. Just remember to live each moment to the fullest, guys. I love you, and I shall chat to you again soon.